Hi students again. Today we are going to study Teen to Teen 2 video worksheets 2 and 7th Teen Snapshot. 7th video Teen Snapshot. Before we start studying this, please look up the words from your dictionary and then come to my lesson. Okay? You can pause the video and do the activity. Underline the unknown words and look up the words from the dictionary. If you have finished, we are going to start Teen Snapshot video 7. Okay. Now before your word section, let's look at here the first exercise. Write questions in the simple present tense. Simple present tense is, for example, what do you do every day? You get up, you eat breakfast in the morning, you prepare yourselves and you wear your clothes, and you prepare your backpack for school or for somewhere else, and then by bus, by car, you go to school or to work, whatever you think. Now you're students, you go to school. Okay. When we make questions, we put the question word at the beginning, then we put helping verb, then subject, and then verb. When do you get up? You see, one, when you get up. If you want to make a question, you have to put the question word when at the beginning, let's say, then helping verb to, and then the subject you, and verb get up. When do you get up? Look at 2. How often you exercise. Now we put how often at the beginning, then we put you here. What do we put here? How often you exercise. Think. And 3, how you get to school. Like the example, we use a helping verb. So we say for the second one, how often do you exercise? 3, how do you get to school? How often do you exercise? How do you get to school? These are the questions, and we are going to watch a video now. And while you are watching the video, please look at comprehension check. Here we see, watch the Teen Snapshot, put the statements in the order you hear them. Look at here. I ride a bike once a week. I exercise 3 times a week. I take the bus home. I get up at 6 o'clock. I take a train to school. The first one is done for you. I take a train to school. Second, third, fourth, fifth, you. You are going to watch now and then write in your video worksheet here, okay, in the exercise. If you are ready, let's watch. I'm just putting here. Anyway, let's watch first.
When do you get up?
When do you get up?
I get up at 7 o'clock.
Julia. John.
I get up at 6 o'clock.
Melissa.
I get up at 6:45.
Nicole.
I get up at 6 o'clock.
And the second question.
How often do you exercise?
Yes. Julia.
I exercise twice a week.
John.
I exercise 3 times a week.
Sorry. Melissa,
I exercise 3 times a week.
Nicole,
I exercise every day.
how do you get to
How do you
school?
get to
Third
school?
question. Julia,
I take a train to school.
she takes a train. John,
I go by car.
I go by car, he says. Melissa,
I go by car.
yes. Nicole,
I take a bus.
yes. How do you come home
How do you
from
come
school?
home from school?
Fourth question. Julia,
I take the train home from school.
John,
I go by car.
Melissa,
I take a taxi.
Nicole.
I take the bus home.
How often do you ride
How
a bike?
often do you ride a bike?
Julia.
I never ride a bike.
John,
I ride a bike every day.
Melissa,
I ride a bike once a week.
Nicole.
I never ride a bike.
Yes, this was the video. Let's go back to the exercise. I ride a bike once a week. I exercise 3 times a week. I take the bus home. I get up at 6 o'clock. I take a train to school. Okay. Now let's watch the video and together we can check.
When do you get up?
I get up at 7 o'clock.
I get up at 6 o'clock.
I get up at 6 o'clock. So that must be the first one. Okay, I get up at 6 o'clock. The first one. Not I take a train to school. It's not right. Okay, I get up at 6 o'clock is the first answer.
I get up at 6:45. I get up at 6 o'clock.
How often do you exercise?
I exercise twice a week.
I exercise 3 times a week.
I exercise 3 times a
2.
week. I exercise every day.
Okay, how do you get
How do
to
you
school?
Get to school?
For 3. Listen.
I take a train to school.
So this is 3.
I go by car.
Okay.
I go by car.
We don't have these choices.
I take a bus.
How do you
How do you
come
come
home
home
from school?
Okay, listen. Julia.
I take the train home from school.
John?
I go by car.
I go by car? No.
I take a taxi.
I take a taxi now. Nicole?
I take the bus home.
Yes, that's 4.
How often do you ride a bike?
Julia?
I never ride a bike.
She never rides a bike. Never rides a bike?
I ride a bike every day.
I ride a bike every day?
I ride a bike once a week.
Huh. Once a week we code. That's the 5th
I
one.
never ride a bike.
Yes, we have finished this. Now let's go back. Okay, we came to exercise 3. Watch the teen snapshot again. Answer the questions. There are questions here. When does Melissa get up? She gets up at 6:45. We have heard. Okay, the second question. How often does Julia exercise? Third question. Sorry. Third question. How does Melissa get to school? Fourth question. How does Nicole come home from school? And fifth question. How often does John ride a bike? Now let's watch the video again. I'm taking the video here so that you can see the questions.
When do you get up?
Yes.
I get up at 7 o'clock.
I get up at 6 o'clock.
Melissa, yes. The first question. When does
I
Melissa
get up
get?
at 6:45.
6:45. Yes, we know that.
I get up at 6 o'clock.
Okay, now how often do you exercise?
How often do you
Julia,
exercise?
Julia. Look at Julia and listen to her.
I exercise twice a week.
Yes.
I exercise 3 times a week.
I exercise 3 times a week. I exercise every day.
How do you get to
How do
school?
you get to school?
Melissa.
I take a train to school.
I go by car.
Melissa.
I go by car. I take a bus.
Now,
How do you come home from
Nicole. Nicole.
I take the train home from school.
I go by car.
I take a taxi.
Yes.
I take the bus home.
How often do you ride a bike?
John.
I never ride a bike.
I ride a bike every day.
I ride a bike once a week. I never ride a bike.
Okay. Let's pause here. Look at question 2. How often does Julia exercise? Let's watch.
When do you get up?
I get up at 7 o'clock.
I get up at 6 o'clock.
I get up at 6:45.
Yes, that's the answer for the first question, you know. Now,
I get up at 6 o'clock.
okay, how often do you do exercise, or do you exercise? Sorry, no problem. The second one, how often does Julia exercise?
How often do you exercise?
Julia.
I exercise twice a week.
Yes. How many times? Twice a week, she says. So we should write it like this. Twice. Sorry. Twice a week, she said. Julia exercises, for example, Julia exercises twice a week, or Julia does exercise twice a week, you can say. Okay, I mean, do exercise. So, she. Yes, the third question, how does Melissa get to school?
I exercise 3 times a week.
We'll pass this.
I exercise 3 times a week. I exercise every day.
Okay, how do you get to school?
How do you get to school?
Melissa.
I take a train to school.
I go by car.
Melissa.
I go by car.
Yes. She goes by car. You can write a short answer if you wish, like this. By car. Or you can just say Melissa gets to school by car. That's long answer. By car, short answer. Melissa gets to school by car. Or by car. Yes. Let's go to the fourth question. How does Nicole come home from school?
I take a bus.
Okay, how do you come?
How do you come home from school?
I take the train home from school.
I go by car.
Yes.
I take a taxi.
Now, Nicole.
I take the bus home.
Yes. She. Again.
I take a taxi.
Now, listen again.
I take the bus home.
Yes. She takes the bus home. Okay. But you can either say, for short answer, by bus. Yes, by bus. And then the last question, how often does John ride a bike? Yes.
How often do you ride a bike?
I never ride a bike.
I ride a bike every day.
I ride a bike once a week.
Let's come back
And
to John.
I ride a bike every day.
Yes, I ride a bike every day. So we can just say, for short answer, how often does John ride a bike? Every day. That's okay. Or John rides a bike every day. So let's write it. Every day. Okay, let's clean everything. Yes. Now you have seen the video, you have watched the video, and we came to you. We have some questions to you, the same questions, similar questions you can say. When do you get up? When do you get up? Not wake up. No, get up. Get up. Okay. How do you get to school? When do you get up? For example, me, I get up at 8 o'clock. At 8 o'clock. How do you get to school? For example, do you get to school by car, by bus, by train? Which one? Or by riding a bike, or by bike, let's say. Okay, how often do you exercise? Do you exercise? How often do you exercise? Once, twice, 3 times a week, a month? And how often do you ride a bike? I ride a bike once a week, I can say. So these are my answers. Now we have finished Teen to Teen 2, Unit 7, Video, Teen Snapshot. Thank you for joining my lesson, and next lesson we are going to study Unit 8, Video, Teen Snapshot. So till then, see you. Goodbye.